Greetings, friends. It is 9:47 at night. I'm calling this the Acne Positive Reading Vlog. When I was really thinking about why I found making vlogs so difficult, and I realized that a big part of it was that I often felt like I had to put makeup of some kind on to look good on camera, and that it was really stopping me from making updates when I wanted or filming B-roll or any of that kind of stuff because I was worried about what my face looked like. Because your girl got some acne going on. It's actually a lot worse than it previously was, because last week I had to wear a little bit more makeup more often last week, and it kind of made my already hormonal acne moment just like a little bit crazy, and like these super creative death warmed over eye circles. So I thought I need to get over this hump of this being an issue for me, because I do want to do more reading vlogs and enjoy the experience of making reading vlogs a little bit more. And so thus I thought I would make this acne positive sort of video where I do most of the updates without wearing any makeup. But I thought what I would do is pick out some books that go with my theme, and also during my updates, like show you some of the skincare that I do. I've chosen 3 books, and I thought to go with my theme that I would choose books that either had the word face or skin in the title. So the first one that I've chosen, it's called The Rough-Faced Girl by Rafi Martin and David Shannon. I hope I pronounced the author names correctly. This, I believe, is based on a Algonquin folk tale. It is a children's book, but I like picking up children's books every once in a while, and it does look like it has some really beautiful illustrations and artwork in it. I have chosen Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I believe this is a mermaid story that's based around African mythology. And lastly, I have here Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. This is a retelling of the myth of Cupid and Psyche, which I actually don't know that much about. I meant to get to this book last year, but I just didn't get to it. I'm gonna sit down in a bit and start the shortest book. Sorry if the angle and the lighting is weird. I've sat you on my bed on like a box thing. So yeah. Anyway, I thought you could join me for my morning tea. Here's my happy face cup. I'm drinking my dandelion tea because dandelion tea is good for cleansing your liver. And the one that I showed you is my personal favorite because it's caramel nut flavored. And if you didn't know, dandelion tea actually kind of tastes like roasted coffee. And the caramel nut one has some good stuff in it that makes it taste like fancy coffee, but it cleanses your liver, which is great for any kind of like hormonal stuff that you might have going on. And also I put a little paw d'arco in there. That I think does have some detoxification stuff. Put that in there, either in tea form or like in that little dropper, just because it helps with inflammation and pain and stuff. Don't take my word for it though. You can read up on anything that I mention in this video. So I thought while I prep to create my daily magnetic poem, because I post a magnetic poem every day, I would talk to you about The Rough-Faced Girl. So I completed the book last night, and I have to say it was a 5-star for me. Obviously, it's a children's book, so you have to view it kind of on that level. I believe the age group that the book is geared for is 6 to 9 years old, and I think it definitely is effective for that age group. But I think if you're an adult that just randomly likes to pick up children's books, you will enjoy the lesson of the book. The general plot is that there is this big deal invisible being. Every girl wants to marry the invisible being, but his sister says, hey, you can't marry him unless you can actually see him. And then we cut to the rough-faced girl. She has 2 very mean sisters and a father who apparently doesn't care that the sisters are mean to her. And the reason she's rough-faced is because she works in front of the fire all the time, and so she's covered in ash, and she is, probably like her skin is somewhat scarred from working in front of the fire. Obviously, the sisters want to marry the invisible being, but so does the rough-faced girl because she's been dreaming about him, and then the story goes on. What I liked about the lesson of the story, it's something that really applies to the theme of my video here, and discussing beauty and what beauty means and how to view things about your circumstances. And what is so great about the rough-faced girl in the story is not just that she's kind, and that is an important thing, and she definitely has courage, but the other really great thing that I think maybe people might miss, or that I caught on to for myself, is that when she's going into situations, she just makes the best of the situations that she has. She figures out how to make things work for her, and she doesn't really care if people laugh at her. She just makes things work for her in her way, and goes at a situation with positivity. And that is the other thing, is that she goes into situations with a positive mindset. I think when you have anything that you don't like about yourself, or that you find yourself in like not so great circumstances, it's really easy to view that through a lens of negativity or shame or just like bad feelings about it. And that's not what the rough-faced girl does. The reason she has success is that she's able to view things with positivity and being able to see beauty in the land and in the world. She just goes, I'm just going to see the beauty where beauty is and not worry about all that stuff. And I think that's something that we can all take into our lives as an adult. So I'm going to hopefully start Till We Have Faces today. I don't know at what point of the day, because I do have to take my dogs to the vet. And that can either be a short visit or a really long wait. But this morning I did do a little perusing on what the plot of the original story, Cupid and Psyche, is about. It looks like we're going to be looking at the meeting of the soul and desire, like studying that kind of topic. Good morning. I thought I'd do a little get ready with me right now, because I'm gonna get ready to go to my chiropractor, and then after I do that, I might go to cardio drumming at the YMCA. So I use this Derma E Skin De-Stress Calming CBD cleanser. It has hemp seed oil in it, or CBD oil in it, and I've started recently using the serum that goes with it. Works on inflammation, kind of calms the redness stuff, and then it also has aloe vera in it, which is a antibacterial, and killing that pimple bacteria is always great. So I use this in the daytime. By the way, none of these products that I mentioned in this entire video are sponsored or anything. It's just me talking. So I've read about 77 pages of Till We Have Faces, and I'm loving it so far. I can't pronounce the main character's name, but she's the sister of Psyche, so it's from her perspective. And during this first part of the book, she lives in like a small kingdom. So there's actually 3 sisters. There's the main character, and then her sister, who is a little younger but is kind of a shallow sort of, not really a villainous character, but she causes some problems. She's the troublesome sister. And then there's the youngest, Psyche. Due to everybody thinking that Psyche is like this spiritual being at this point in the story, it has caused things in the kingdom to go awry, and now some really crazy stuff I think is going to happen. So now I do a little serum/lotion moment where I use this serum that I talked about already. And I also use this turmeric vitamin C lotion. Serum. I always used a vitamin C serum of some kind, but I started using this turmeric one because the turmeric brightens up your face. But it also is supposed to help with scarring. And I think that it has helped with some of my scarring. But really what I noticed that it did for me is that it really made the general like tone of my skin even out. I use this Derma-E Scar Cream, but also it's a mineral sunscreen. And yes, but the writing also is awesome in Till We Have Faces. I know. This is the first fiction adult book I've read by C.S. Lewis. So I've obviously read The Chronicles of Narnia, and I've read Mere Christianity, which I also really liked, but that's nonfiction Christian literature. So I'm really having a great time with the writing. Love the way that characters are created. So I'm excited to read more of his adult works already, even though I'm not sure which ones I'm going to pick up next just by the influence of this one. I think that's all I have to say about the book. I'm going to use this little face massager doodad. I clean it off first, just to get anything yucky off, with this witch hazel facial toner, because the witch hazel will kill anything weird that has gotten on it. So I do that before and after, and it's a really cool little thing. You turn it on and it's got red light and blue light in it, which does help with any kind of pigmentation on your skin. Touch it, it does a little buzz to massage your face. So I use the nourishing to kind of rub my lotion in, and then with the blue light on, I use warming, and that basically makes the little pad here hot, and it will kind of break up any kind of gross stuff that's in your acne, and also kind of kill that bacteria in there. It's particularly nice to put on like the cystic acne to try to like break up some stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to not make you sit and listen to the buzz that this thing makes, because that would probably be annoying. Sometimes when I don't want to put makeup on, but I also don't want my pimples to look as red, I put this Neutrogena color correcting powder on my face. It kind of helps some of the red spots not look quite so red. See you in a bit. I have finished the book, so we're gonna talk about my thoughts on my book. By the way, my mom is doing a voice lesson, so you'll hear her singing. Also, yes, it's several days after my last update because I wanted to really take in the book and not read it too fast because it's got a lot of symbolism and thoughts and themes and stuff, but also because it's just been a crazy time. It's just been like a really crazy week. Also, y'all, yes, I am doing this update wearing pimple patches on my face. I like to use these Lip Bear ones because they come in this resealable package and you get kind of more in them. Also, they have like a lot of fun kinds. So yeah, these really work. I have to say most of the ones that I've tried work, but I really like these because of that reason. And I have nowhere to be and it's a Saturday, so I thought I'd put some pimple patches on because some of these hurt. Anywho, let's talk about the book. 100% a 5-star book for me. Till We Have Faces was brilliant. The writing was brilliant. The themes were brilliant. It really made me think about some great stuff. And oddly, the psyche element of the story shares some commonalities with the last book I read. There was an invisible being or a god in the story, and Psyche has a worldview that allows her to see things that other people can't see. I just think it's really interesting that these elements of mythology from different cultures do have commonalities. Really though, this book, because it follows Oruel, I think that's how you say her name. You'd think after listening and reading along with the audiobook for all those hours, I could pronounce the main character's name, but that is just not my way. But we're going to say it like this. Oruel, the sister of Psyche, the older sister. And basically the themes follow her personal trials. I guess I'll focus on the two main concepts that I think you're meant to get out of this and that I guess I got out of it. So the first one is that Oruel is a person that loves very selfishly. And by that, I mean to truly love someone is to be able to let them go if that's something that they need to do to make them happy, to make sure that you can let them care and love for other people in different ways, and to basically let those people be free to have free will and do the things that they want and need to do for themselves. And Oruel really struggles with loving in that way. She loves in a selfish way, particularly with her younger sister Psyche, because she basically was a mother to her. She doesn't want her to grow up and change and fall in love, and that she can only love me is what Oruel thinks. Like, Psyche only owes loyalty to me. And she takes this viewpoint with almost all her relationships and kind of doesn't realize or is blind to the concept that when you love that way, you kind of end up sucking those people dry or hurting them. Even when you mean the best for them, you can actually be really harmful by trying to make that thought that they can only love you or spend time with you or be with you. And oddly, this unreliable narrator, who is doing maybe not the best choices in her life, is not someone that I personally, or I don't think most people, would find thoroughly unlikable. I think there are a couple reasons for that. One is that she is relatable. Like, there's some element of it that you've experienced in your life that you can relate. You might not be exactly this type of person, but you might relate to her feelings that she has, even if you wouldn't deal with it the same way that she deals with it. And the second thing is that there is a psychology to her character. Her father was really emotionally abusive to all the females in his life, and really everybody in his life, and particularly to her. And because pretty much most people, including him, have said, hey, you're not beautiful, you're ugly, you have really, there's nothing good about you, da 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 da, except for very few people, Psyche and her teacher, the fox. So when you haven't received much love from people, you kind of scrounge for any kind of love you can get. And so you understand why she is the way she is, and I think that gives you empathy for her experience and why she has the worldview that she has. Add on to that there is an underlying concept that I think Orwell knows she hasn't done the right things deep down, but she doesn't want to admit it. She'd rather blame something else or someone else for anything that's happened. And then she also has this element of hiding herself. She physically hides herself, hides parts of herself and her personality in her work, and delves deep into becoming someone else because she doesn't want to admit the flaws in herself or the things that she's done. And so I think there's an underlying theme about your face, not just your physical face and hiding your physical face, but also hiding your soul, because that's Psyche's name. That's what Psyche's name means, is soul. It's hiding parts of your soul. There's this concept that eventually one has to face themselves and face what they've done, either by, you coming to terms with it when you die or before that. I'm doing an update. My mother is summoning me for some singing purpose. Anyway, read this book because I'm not properly articulating the awesomeness of this book, so just check it out. It's awesome. Read it. Now that I'm done with that, I am going to start Skin of the Sea. I've taken off the dust jacket. I've put in my fabulous mermaid bookmark that my friend AJ got me. And I read about 5 pages of it yesterday, but that's obviously not enough for me in a fantasy novel to really know what's going on with the world building and who the main character is and all that. It's just enough for me to know that I really like the writing style. I'm going to do a little update while I get ready to go to the library, and I this time made sure to tell my mom that I was doing a video update because last time she asked me if I was losing my mind because I was talking to myself. So, funny story. But I appreciate her concern. So I am going to put a little bit of stuff on my face, not a ton, because this little pimple here, well, it's not little, and this one are really irritated. I actually might just put like another acne patch on it. I'm actually gonna put like these fun star ones on because why the heck not? I'm really just gonna go with some primery stuff, some oil and a primer, and this green BB cream from L'Oreal, and this concealer that I tried yesterday, which is an under eye brightener from Milani. I use lots of Milani. I'm about a little over 80 pages, I think, into Skin of the Sea, and I'm really enjoying the story and particularly the mythology of the story. Basically, there are like these deities that are kind of aspects of this West African god. And the one that is the deity of the water, she basically creates 7 mermaids to collect the souls of the slaves that die at sea so that they can be blessed. And so our main character is one of these mermaid creatures. And in the world building, these mermaids are able to have legs when they're on land, and then they have their fin, obviously, when they're in the ocean. And they also kind of lose their memory when they're in the ocean. So they basically don't remember really where they came from or any of that stuff. And then when they have their legs, they remember where they came from. So the main character, who I'm going to call Simi for short, she has a longer name, but her nickname is Simi. And Simi is really kind of struggling with her change into a mermaid and the task that she has been set, and like basically all they're allowed to do is take their souls to be blessed. Like, they're not allowed to save anybody from the sea or any of those things. They're just supposed to do that. And whenever she has legs, she does come back with having memories of her family and her past. So she's really struggling with the change and the things that she misses about being human. And of course, if you tell somebody like not to do something, like, you know, save people, they usually end up doing it. So at the point where I am in the story, she has broken some rules. The writing is surprisingly relaxing, yet the plot is really exciting. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy. I like how the book is playing with memory and trauma and some of that aspect of the experience of the main character. And I also like how the book is really considering the concept of change. So I wonder if it's gonna delve more into that theme. I really like characters that are kind of torn between two different worlds, if you will. And so it's definitely going to have that vibe. By the way, I managed to give myself this cute haircut, and I don't regret it. You know how when you cut your own hair, you sometimes go, I regret everything? I've rarely had that experience, but then again, my hair texture is very forgiving. Do you like my sweater? It is like the cutest thing I have ever owned, and I just bought it, and I'm so excited to wear it. I'm just digressing now. It's all digression. We're not even talking about books anymore. As for going to the library, I thought I would tell you a little bit about the library. So I have 2 libraries close to me. One is like my actual city's library, and there's one that's like in a close by kind of area that's not really our city, but it still kind of is, if that makes any sense. And that one, because it's not technically my city, I do have to pay like a little fee to use it. I need to renew my card, and so it's about $50, which sounds expensive, but you get to check out all the books you want for the year, and I spend more than $50 at the bookstore when I buy books. I don't really have a plan for like the books that I want to check out at the library. I think I'm just going to wing it. I'll try not to check out too many things because I'm reading like so many books right now, but it's so fun to go to the library. You know what I mean? I'm just going to exfoliate my lips. Because I gotta leave in 3 minutes. And by the way, this e.l.f. exfoliator that costs like $4 is really good. I thought about getting a second piercing in my ear, and then I didn't want to do the hassle, so I got these magnetic earrings, and I just kind of stick them where a second piercing would be. These are little bees, and they are bomb. That is the look for today. No eyeliner, because we don't have time for that. Leaving with way too many books, but it's a good haul. Actually, sorry about the loudness behind me. The main part of the library was closed because they were doing renovations, which weirdly I dreamed they were doing renovations last night. Yeah, they were getting new carpet, so the main part was closed. So I mostly just got middle grade books and YA books that I found, and one honor book, because those are like the books that you can get and then you can return whenever you can. So yeah, it's a good haul. I'll show you a bit of it when I get home. So first of all, I managed to score the sequel to my current read, Skin of the Sea, Soul of the Deep. I just thought I would pick it up at the library in case I wanted to binge read the next book. This is called The Story of Beautiful Girl. It really intrigued me. It looks like it's set in 1968, which seems really cool, and it's about a woman with a developmental disability and a man that is deaf. I have the first book in the Meet the Austin series by Madeline L'Engle. I've been meaning to check out the series and kind of see what it's like. I picked up Disability Visibility, 17 first-person stories for today. This is adapted for young adults. There must be like a adult version of this. A Crack in the Sea, mostly because the cover is super cool, but it sounds like it's about a boy who can talk to fish. Then there's The Boy, the Wolf, and the Stars. Similar to the book that I just talked about, this sounded like a cool magical quest kind of book, so I guess that's something that I'm in the mood for in terms of middle grade, so I thought I'd get that one. And then Ironhead, or Once a Young Lady. This intrigued me because it's a historical fiction set in the 1800s, which is my jam right now. So those were the books that I checked out. So my hair is crazy because I'm about to braid my hair before I start chilling out to like get ready to go to sleep. I thought this would be a good time to not only update the book, but talk about my nighttime face care routine. I do all that in the shower, so I wasn't going to take you into the shower with me. I, yet again, use a Derma E product. I use this Vitamin C Gentle Daily Cleansing Paste. It has some turmeric, yet again, in it to kind of brighten up the face. And then I use this Acure brightening scrub. People gonna yell at me because yes, I do scrub my face every single night. I know that like that's not the thing to do. You're not supposed to scrub your face every day, but this sounds like maybe weird and maybe it's TMI, I don't know, but my skin, like my dead skin, just kind of stays on my face, and if I don't scrub it, it starts looking real gray. But also I mostly focused it on like my cystic acne because that really only goes away if you exfoliate it. Usually once a week when I remember, I use this tea tree peeling gel. I got it off of Amazon. It is really fun. It basically just kind of peels all the like dead skin cells off your face, and it makes your skin super smooth. And the tea tree is also good at like killing any kind of bacteria and stuff. This thing is bomb. I did this tonight. I haven't remembered to do it for a couple weeks, and my face could tell. Now, the past couple of days, I've been using this Walgreens benzoyl peroxide just on my spots, mostly the painful ones, and the cystic ones. I didn't do that tonight because I did the peeling gel, and I thought, let's not overdo it. So I'm probably just going to, maybe later when I feel like it, put a little aloe on my weird spots, because that does help. And aloe is my Windex. Like the dad in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, when he's like, put some Windex on it. That's what I do with aloe vera. And then lastly, I do all the other serums, but I add this rejuvenating, probably can't see it, overnight serum from Shea Moisture. It just kind of resurfaces your face. It's like a African black soap resurfacing serum. Oddly, African black soap totally showed up in my book, and I was like, I feel like I'm on the ball with this video. And then I use this redness relieving night moisturizer from Cetaphil. I'm gonna braid my hair, tell you about the book. So I am now currently on page 190 of Skin of the Sea. Really started at this point to shape up to be an adventure novel, which I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I expected an adventure novel. It's shaping up to be like, have all the key elements and like the key plot points of a really strong adventure novel, and they have some really big important goals, and now there's sort of a fellowship, if you will, if you want to use Lord of the Rings terms, going on. By the way, I got so excited. This book has fairies, and they are freaking adorable. I am so excited about the fairies. I got mermaids and fairies, one book. I'm living my best reading life. At the front of this book, I actually was like, I really love the writing style, but I'm not sure what I feel about the characters. And now that I've gotten into it, I really enjoy the characters. I think it's just because the characters were kind of a mystery to themselves. But now I've gotten about 2/3 of the way into it, so we've gotten a lot of backstory, especially on the two main characters. Another thing that I am enjoying about this is that I'm learning a lot, because as I'm sure said, I didn't know much about the mythology included in this, and I've had fun looking up the different names and different creatures and different types of things that are featured in this story. I did last night actually start listening to the audiobook a little, and there were a couple of reasons for that. One is that I really just desperately needed to get the correct pronunciations for these character names and the creatures, and just wanted to hear what some of the actual sections that were written in the native language were actually, like, the way they were supposed to be pronounced. The other reason I started the audiobook is because I want to try to finish the book by Saturday. I'm not going to try to rush, but it's going to be Friday tomorrow, and I'd like to try to finish it by Saturday, just because I'm starting a buddy read of Chain of Thorns with one of my friends, and also I'd like to this weekend get to one of the library books that I checked out. Because I'm so close to finishing the book, I will update you when I complete it. Alright, so it is the final update of the video, because I finished Skin of the Sea, but of course I can't do an update in this video without talking about like some skin stuff that I'm wearing. So today I'm wearing the Derma E Essential Sun Protection Mineral Powder SPF 30. It's just a mineral powder SPF, which I've been kind of wearing off camera, but I haven't really worn on camera for whatever reason, but I wanted to see what it looked like on camera. I also bought these little glittery, fun-shaped acne patches that are by Mari. Is that how you say it? But they are supposed to have green algae extract and tea tree oil. So, interesting. But speaking of green algae, let's talk about my final thoughts on Skin of the Sea. This came so close to getting a 5-star rating, but in the end, I decided to rate this 4.75 stars. The only reason I docked that little quarter of a star is that I did predict a lot of the big plot points in the story, and I'm a story predictor person. Like, I often guess big plot points. So usually I don't dock anything on the rating unless it's a special circumstance. And the special circumstance is I ask myself, would anyone other than me, like anyone that's just reading it, also guess this plot point pretty far ahead? And my answer for this book was yes. I think almost anybody would guess any kind of turn in this book. Now, the thing is, though, I enjoy the story and the characters and the writing and all that enough to not make me dock like a whole bunch of star on it. I'm not gonna dock a full star on that because I do think that it's still a really entertaining, action-packed read. But I do think the genre of fantasy does really depend on having a little bit of the element of surprise, and thus it's kind of not the best if you can guess well ahead what's happening. But like I said, ton of stuff that I loved about this. One thing that I did want to kind of discuss that isn't part of the overall thing, but it's just an interesting thought that I had during one of the chapters in the story that kind of fits with how I like to find a life lesson in each of the books in this. And there was a thought that came to me because Simi is very concerned about outside people liking her because she is this otherworldly creature. And it made me come to this realization that people that will accept you for who you are, warts and all, are out there. They're out there. And Simi kind of discovers that as well. But you won't discover if those people exist for you if you don't open yourself up and let yourself be vulnerable and let people see you just as you are, your full flawed self. And then you can know if people really accept you for you or not, and who are your true companions in your fellowship, if you will. I keep calling it a fellowship because I do feel like this book draws a lot from Lord of the Rings in its plot. And there's also some really wonderful tidbit nods to the original Hans Christian Andersen Little Mermaid. Now, I do think people would be tempted from the outset to say that this is a Little Mermaid retelling, and it's not. But it has nice nods to it because the author did say in her author's note that that was one of the things that she was really drawn to as a child, was that particular story. And I do think it's nice to just see those little nods in the story. If you like a lot of poetical description, you definitely will enjoy this. If you like action and adventure, you will enjoy this. I did notice on a couple of reviews that I saw that people thought the characters were kind of flat, and I don't personally see them as flat characters. I think they're really well developed in my opinion, but they are really chill. They don't like freak out. They definitely have a very logical outlook on how they are going to accomplish things. And that doesn't mean that they're not emotive. They do like cry and feel emotion really deeply, but I think they are people that are like, let's handle the task at hand and try not to die. And then we can cry about it, and then we'll cry about it for a short time, and then we'll get past that. I liked it because I personally like to see people handling problems in different ways, and I thought that that was a really cool situation, and I think it made sense for where the characters are coming from and their backgrounds, that they would be that way. So it made sense to me, but also I think it made it easy for me as a reader to see how well the different characters played against each other. Like if one person had a personality flaw in one area, another person would be good at that thing a little better, and then that could propel the plot in a certain way. Or if one person had a particular skill physically that they could do and somebody else didn't, then we still had that person. They really matched and had their own puzzle piece to play, and I was able to see that because their personalities were pretty chill. Highly enjoyable read. Definitely want to read the next book in the series. Overall, I feel like this was a really productive reading vlog. I got 2 5-star reads and 1 4.75 read, and I feel like I learned a great lesson from each of these books. On top of that, I feel like this was really freeing and productive for me to just go on camera with very little makeup or no makeup at all, and maybe not with perfect hair or clothes or any of that, because it showed me that I can do it. I can have the confidence to do that if I need to. I probably won't do every single vlog where I don't wear makeup, but I wouldn't now be concerned or afraid of what would happen if I did do an update wearing pimple patches or not wearing any makeup or having not the perfect hair. And that could free me up to do more updates or do more B-roll, which was the goal of this, is just to kind of get over a insecurity or a fear that I had. And I actually didn't feel any insecurity or fear during this whole time. So I guess it just proves that as long as you go into something with confidence, you can accomplish anything you would like to do. If you're still here, thank you for watching me do this little experiment with makeuplessness, and I will see you all soon with another video, my friends. Goodbye.